Chat with Linda. Now, right now, I'm checking if I'm finally live because there have been a lot of problems lately, and I think today is the same. I see. I still can't see that I'm live. Now I see that I'm live. This is awesome because now I can switch off sound, and when people want to join me in chat, I can talk with you. So right now there's no one yet, but that will change soon, I hope. Um, Welcome. Today I want to talk about ADHD, and let me know in the comments if you have ADHD or if you know someone with ADHD. I'm going to talk about the good and the bad about ADHD. So if you can relate to this, let me know and I'll see it in chat. At least I hope so, because I'm still fighting a little bit with the computer right now. So welcome. Now, ADHD, most people for a long time knew ADHD as something that is only happening to little boys. And those kids are like jumping around and being quite annoying for most people. And this is how people were seeing it. Um, ADHD is now finally known as something that more people can have, and it's not only for little boys, it's also for adults, and women can have the same condition. So that's what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about the bad things about ADHD, but also the good things, because the bad things are the ones that most people are talking about. So what I found is that when you have ADHD, most of them are incredibly creative. They are the best out of the box thinkers. And often when you apply for a job, people were asking for people who can think out of the box. But then when you do, then mostly it's not so liked by the same managers who said they wanted people thinking like that. So it's often a problem, but I think it's quite good because when everyone is thinking the same way, it's not going to work, never going to solve any problem with everyone doing the same all the time. So they are creative thinking. They come up with original ideas, which is great, and make the best art often. So yes, I think ADHD, one of the good things is that they are incredibly creative. Not everyone, but a lot of them are. Now, the bad thing about being so creative and having ADHD or ADD, the form that's in your head and not the jumping around part, the bad thing is that having so many ideas will often, often show the way that you have a lot of ideas and you want to do them all. You start them all and forget to finish because there are always new ideas coming and coming and coming. So that's a never ending problem, I think. Uh, so there's a lot of started projects and not many projects that really are done. So that's one of the things that's not so good about ADHD. So when you have like hobbies, well, if you look around in my living room, you can see the tower for the cats. Only one cat is still sitting on that, but we can't do it away because of that cat. You see that as a bike. That's way too strong for me, so I can't really work with it. You see the drum kit and you see a spinning wheel, and maybe you have seen a few books here and there in my room. Um, this kind of shows that uh, I can get to the big, the big projects. And the spinning wheel was a good idea, and I liked spinning in the. I wanted to say in the supermarket. Oh my! You see me cycling through the supermarket. Sorry. um, no, the spinning I like to do in the gym, and then I thought like I'll buy that. I'll do it at home, and I'm going to love it. But this one is so heavy that I can hardly use it. But then it's standing in my living room collecting dust, and that's about it. So not thinking before you do or buy something is one of the not so good things about ADHD, I think. And you can see the drum kit. I love the drum kit, love to play drums. So that's all fine. But of course, it does take a lot of living room space as well. Glad I do have a nice living room, but yeah, it's rather silly. And not everyone in my family is always happy with the huge things that I get because I've got a new project or a new hobby. So I can't blame them for that. um, Also, one of the bad things is the poor planning. So you have all these ideas, and then, of course, you have to do something with it, and then it goes wrong because, there's a new idea. And what often happens with ADHD people is that they are working last minute and they can make amazing things, they can work really hard, but it's often last minute. And that's not good for the person because it does give stress. And even when you know it's going to give you stress, somehow it's still going to be last minute work. So it's rather silly. Um, so for those who see me watching two different things all the time, I'm keeping an eye on the chat. So if there's questions or someone who wants to say hello, then I can reply to that. So that's why you see me shifting. And maybe sometimes I'll just look outside because we have birds in the garden often and I hear them and want to see them. So sorry for that in advance. So poor planning. Poor planning is really a difficult one for people with ADHD. It's difficult to organize things. And even if you do and you make a to-do list, that to-do list will be endless. It will be incredible long because there are always things to do. And especially for those with ADHD, they have more to do, I think. The good thing is that we do have more hours in a day. I think I have at least 30 hours every single day, and a week is at least 10 days. And somehow, somewhere, I found out that it's not true. And then, for example, that people in my house do want to have dinner, and I completely forgot because it's already that late and I didn't know. I was just busy doing something else. So that's another poor planning thing. That's the time blindness. It's not only the planning, it's also no clue about how long an hour really is. And sometimes I'm incredibly accurate, like on the minute or something for a whole day, and then I know exactly what time it is, and often it's like hours later. And to make it even worse with time blindness, when you have a chat and 10 years later you see that person again, I know about that chat. And for me, it was yesterday, so I can just continue the story. So that's quite funny for others. Not always, but yeah, it's weird. Time blindness is a weird thing. So the good thing about those long days is that you can do a lot of work, and most ADHDers are not getting tired that fast. The bad thing is that, of course, you will get tired, you just don't notice. So a burnout is something that can happen quite easily for people with ADHD who aren't on medicines. Now, I'm not going to talk about medicines because I don't know anything about it, and to be able to get them, you have to have a chat with a psychiatrist, I think. At least in the Netherlands, you have. So I'm not going to burn my hands on that story. I don't know anything about it, so I can't give you any advice, and I can't give any medical advice anyway. So I'm not going to have a chat about medicines. And of course, if you do think you have ADHD or ADD. I'm not going to call it ADD anymore because it's now ADHD, all of it. But if you think you have that, sorry, do have a chat with your doctor and see if you can get tested or something. Because there are a lot of good things about it, but there are a lot of not so good things as well. So I said burnout is easily you'll be burnt out because you haven't noticed that you were tired for so long. So that's a really bad thing. But then I'm going to say good and bad things, and I'm going to do them like not all the bad things in a row and then all the good things, just going to divide it a little bit. So there are also quite a lot of funny things, funny stories for or about people with ADHD. I'm not sure if I have ADHD. I haven't had that chat yet, but I did figure out that a lot of things are going differently for me than other people, and so someday I'm on that waiting list thing. Someday I will have those tests. One of the things that I used to do, and oh, cool, I have someone, Sherry from Uganda, Africa. Welcome, that's so nice. Good to see you and good to have you here. I'm in the Netherlands, by the way, so that's quite far away. Uh, cool, welcome. Um, So one of the funny things I did, or I have been doing quite often, even when there was a party at school, when my kids had their birthday and they want to give treats at school, I had nice ideas what to make. So a lot of parents gave just a little bag of crisps, and I didn't like that, so I always made something, but I always made that last minute. So I was like working till late at night to get the treat done in time, and the kids liked it, so it was good. But yeah, I should have planned that thing better. So also one time I wanted to give just a little candy treat, but I wanted to make it fun. So I made a piñata, and like that's that papier mache thing. Then the kids hit the item that you make, and then it breaks and all the candies flow out. So I was nervous, and I did do this in advance, but I was nervous if it was strong enough. So I made this very heavy ball with the candy in it, and it took those poor kids, I think, 2 hours to open the thing. So at some point, the teacher just grabbed a knife and wanted to cut it open because there was no way they could just smash it open. So those are the funny, funny and weird things that I managed to do for them. Also for the store, their birthday parties, I made it huge. We always had the birthday parties at home, and we did like little games, and there was always one theme, and I made everything around that theme. So it was a lot of work to make it, but it was so much fun for them. And my daughters still are talking about it, and they're adults now. So I guess it all went well, but I did have a lot of work, and it was always last minute. Yeah. Now, sorry, when I'm talking a lot, I do need to drink. So feel free to grab a drink as well. I have both tea and an iced coffee. I should be fine. So if you have something, let me know. So Cherry in Africa, Uganda. I don't think you want tea right now. That's too hot, right? Let's see if you're going to reply in chat or if someone else is going to say something in chat. If you want to, feel free to say something. If not, just listen to my long story. Okay, now working with ADHD. I think when you have coworkers with ADHD, they can either annoy you because they're so everywhere all the time, but they do a lot of work. they can do a tremendous amount of work. And I think when you have ADHD and you're in that hyperfocus, what you can do is don't show that you can do so much the moments that you're in hyperfocus, because at some point you will get out of the hyperfocus and then it's going to be very difficult to get yourself to that job. And I'm going to reply your question in a few, Cherry. I hope I say your name right. So what you can do when you are when you're not in your hyperfocus and you did do a lot in your hyperfocus is just keep some of that work and like act like you've just done it right now, so it's more steady and not with all the ups and downs. Because when you are having so many ups because you are in hyperfocus at work, they expect you to be in that hyperfocus all the time and you can't. That's going to be a definite burnt out. So try to keep some of that work apart from for the moments that you're a bit more tired. And let me see, Cherry, what did you say? Cherry and children. What time it is now? It is here. It's 1 p.m. almost in the Netherlands. So you're only 1 hour ahead of me. So it's not that huge difference. Now I see Cherry in chat and no one else yet. Do you have ADHD and can you relate to this, or do you know people with ADHD, friends or family? And can you relate to what I just said? And then I'm going to keep that little break for me to drink some tea. And sorry for the sounds because the microphone is near, but I really have to drink, otherwise my voice gets worse and worse and worse. So another good thing about people with ADHD, often they feel emotions very deeply. And that means that's the good and the bad as well. That means that they are quite empathic often, because they can relate and they feel when they hear a story, they feel it as well. So they're quite nice. It's not just jumping around that most people thought all the time. There's much more to it. So that high empathy is quite a nice one. So I did make notes because, and this is funny because I say it right now, because random conversations is one of the not so good, but also funny things for the ADHD people. I'm brilliant at that. Completely out of the blue, I can start talking about something that has been in my mind for maybe 2 or 3 days. And then I start half sentence with a chat. And it's funny, and people around me love it or hate it, because sometimes it's just so out of the blue and so about something different that it's difficult for others to just jump in as well. And I can understand. Often I can't keep up with other people's conversations as well, so because my mind is drifting away. So having these random conversations is quite funny. And with the time blindness, you can like reply to a question that someone asked you 2 weeks or 2 months or a year ago. So for you, it's like right now, but for the other, maybe it's quite long ago, and that's funny as well. And it happens a lot. It happens very often. So random conversations, and that's why I hope to have a lot of people in chat later, because random conversations are always fun. It's fun and weird. Um, yeah, we are good at that. And and that again has to do with the time blindness, because when you don't have a clue about how long something was ago, you can just continue a chat. It doesn't matter that it's a long time ago. If it was a long time ago, that's all fine for you. So it's quite a funny thing. Now let me get some of the other drinks. I made a really nice iced coffee with a lot of foamy milk. And I mean, coffee is for adults, so I made always like the kids' coffee version. A lot of milk, just a little bit coffee. And I really don't need coffee to get energy. So it's good when I don't have that much coffee, or I'll jump around all day. Um, so the not so good thing, uh, misunderstandings, getting misunderstood quite often. And that's both in your creativity, but also in the things that you say, because with most, and let me see, I'm sorry, I'm busy with children. Please do not forget to email us, in of now. Okay, well, it was good to have you here. I don't understand what you mean with the email. Maybe you have mailed me, I don't know. Um, So let me know if you can what you mean about the email, or did I miss an email you've just sent me? I don't know. I'll find out later. And otherwise, just let me know in the chat what I missed about the email. And yeah, being busy with kids, yeah, they can keep you busy all day. So important to have fun with them. So well, thank you anyway for the chat. It was quite nice to see you here, all the way from Uganda. Wow, cool. Um, and I'm in sunny Netherlands right now. Well, I'm always in the Netherlands, but now it's sunny. So the misunderstanding part for ADHD people, misunderstanding is often because what we tend to do is, you can see your brain as a huge cabin with little drawers, and in every drawer there is a piece of information. And mostly you need two drawers at the same time. But with ADHD, it works differently. You open all those tabs, and maybe you have 20 or maybe 100 of those tabs or drawers open. And then your brain starts to connect things. And gladly, they do it quite fast. But then you can make new connections, or you'll hear a word that makes a connection from something you've learned 20 years ago. And then that connection clicks. So someone tells something and you said, oh yeah, I know that. And it's an old thing, but you do know it because you did learn it a long time ago and somehow it clicked. So those connections are not as common as most people have. And so for you, it's of course it's completely normal because you're used to think like that. But for others, it's more difficult to understand. And then you can have big misunderstandings and even fights about it. And that's not because one of you is wrong or is trying to be mean. It's just that the brain is working differently. And they're both good. That makes it so difficult. They can be both good and still get a huge misunderstanding. So it just connects differently and you will think differently. And that's fine. We need to have a lot of people thinking differently. Don't want everyone to think the same or do the same. That's not good. It's nothing going to change in a way of living if everyone's thinking the same and doing the same things. But yeah, the misunderstanding is quite sad, and I often had that. So I can understand that for a lot of people that it can be quite painful. Um, so for people who are joining right now, I did say something about your memories working differently, and time blindness is helpful in this as well. So you have a lot of old conversations, and that's basically because you forgot that you had that chat 10 years ago, and for you it was like yesterday. So you can continue a topic years after after the topic started, like nothing changed. It's completely normal for the person with ADHD. For others, it's a bit weirder. And one of the bad thing is the simple systems. We just don't understand them. I know that I had a teacher for economics. I wasn't good at that at economics. It was difficult for me to learn. And and then one time my teacher said, like, Linda, why are you always choosing the difficult path? And I was looking at him like, oh, is there an easy path? And apparently there was, but for me it wasn't, because I had all those little cabins open and all those little drawers open and connecting things. So yeah, it's you're making it often harder and more difficult than other people would. So there are now lessons about lean working. That's a difficult one for ADHD. Lean is like simple, keeping it as simple as you can. Um, we keep it as simple as we can, and for others it's still difficult. And it's not because we are all of us are so clever. It's just how our brain is working. So I'm not going to put us on like on a higher level. That's not it. It's just different. It's not better. It's not worse. It's just different. So if there are people in chat right now, no one else is chatting at the moment. Okay, so then I'm not going to ask my question about what your biggest struggle is, or if you want to share it with me, let me know. Feel free to tell if you have a big struggle, and I'll find it in the chat later. Now let's see. I do need to drink. Sorry. I don't know how people are doing that who are streaming so often. Are they just not drinking, or? So for me, this is one of the few live streams that I do. And I do that because, well, I like to do the live streams, but planning is bad for me as well. And I have family at home quite often. There's at least one more person at home. And strangely, I don't mind talking online and chatting with everyone. And I find it weird to do that when I have people in my house. So it's a weird thing. So that's why I often can't do these live events, but I love to do them more. So I'll try it, but it depends on how many people I have at home right now. So now there's no one, so now I can do this live event. And I hope to do more. Now, let me check. I did make notes because otherwise I'm making it more and more messy, because my mind is, of course, doing weird things. So, yeah, I made little blocks. So if you think like, hey, I did hear something like this already, that can be true, because the fun thing with my live events is you can just step in whenever you want. And some things I want to make very clear, so they'll come back. So if you think like, hey, I did hear this already, don't worry, there are a lot of new things as well. Let me see. The out of the box mindset. Out of the box mindset. I started with that. Thinking out of the box is great. And really thinking out of the box is even greater. It will cause a lot of upset at work, because most managers want people who think out of the box until they have one, they found one, and then they're not so happy with it anymore. But out of the box thinking is good. And for yourself, just try it. When you have a problem and you solve it the same way every time, try to think about something else. How can you solve it differently? And just sit down for a moment, write down what the problem is, write down what you always do, and then start thinking what you can do to turn this. And see if you get some nice ideas from it. And don't be hard for yourself. Maybe you can't find any other solution right now. That's fine too. Just try it and see if you find something else. And if not, well, maybe another time. Because most things in your brain won't work like now. You have to do it right now. Take your time for it. Now, one of the maybe good, maybe not so good things is the overcomplicated ideas. Yes. When I started making videos, I make one folder. And then in that one folder, I make maybe 20 other folders. One is for music, one is with the ideas, one is the video things I want to do. And they're getting more and more filled. And at some point, I can't find anything anymore. And then my friend said, like, oh, I have just one folder for that day. I was like, wow, how can you work like that? And I tried it and it works quite well. So I grabbed her idea and that works quite well. Overthinking is one of the bad things about ADHD. Now, for a long time, they said that ADHD has two versions, like the H in it, the hyperactivity, is the people who are jumping around, who can't sit still, who are doing a lot of things all the time. While ADD is hyperactivity in the brain. I don't know why they stopped using those two terms, because I think it's quite good. And I think it's even better to have those two names instead of one. Because for the ones with ADHD, it's easier to see, because the jumping around is something that no one can miss. For a while, we've been watching the Alaskan bush people, and one of their sons definitely should have ADHD because he is jumping, running, jumping, climbing all the time. But then when I watched longer, I noticed that more people in that family had the same kind of issues, but they were more in their brain. Now, I'm not a doctor and I haven't really talked with them. I've only watched them on TV and that's all. But for me, it's quite obvious that one should have ADHD, the running and jumping around, and at least two may have ADD because they have so many wild ideas in their brain and they make amazing things. But it's all in their brain. And then one of them is especially has a lot of new and like weird and crazy ideas, but then he makes it and it's just wonderful. But getting there from idea to the end result is difficult. There will be many side projects and many other things. It's never that one project. It's never starting at one project, thinking about it, making it, finishing it without any other thing. When I read a book, I read at least 3 at the same time. And now I'm not reading 3 books at the same time, but I can read 3 different books in a day, for example. Because at some point I just don't want to read that story anymore, still want to read, and I'll get another book. So then for a while I don't finish any book, and then all of a sudden I finished 5 or something. So that's another weirdish thing. You can't really do one task from start to finish. It just won't work like that. Why my voice? um, so overcomplicated ideas and overwhelm because of all the ideas and because of all the tasks you're starting. Gosh, all those tasks you're starting. And then all of a sudden you have a lot of tasks and a huge to-do list with like 50 things on it for one day or for 1 hour maybe. So overwhelm is a dangerous thing for ADHD people because it's going well until it's completely going down. And then you have all these projects that you didn't finish, and you look around in your living room and you have all of a sudden like that bike and drum kit, and you only have not the 30 hours a day that I thought, you have less. And then it's all there and you have to figure out what to do with everything. So overwhelm is a huge problem for people with ADHD. Now, when you have ADHD, you also need moments to rest, to calm down, to settle down. But like my channel, there are a lot of meditations. When your brain is working that fast and making all these connections, there's no way you can sit down and just close your eyes and think about nothing. That's not working. And that's why I made the kaleidoscope videos, because not thinking about anything is just impossible. It's impossible for everyone, but for people with ADHD, it's even worse. They get the feeling they're doing something wrong because they just can't empty their brain. So that's why I make the different kind of meditations, different kind of calm. So there's something for everyone. And let me check the things. Of course, now I'm going to do looking very intelligent, saying that I'm looking at the chat where nobody is typing right now. So let me check. The traditional work systems, they won't work. They won't work for people with ADHD. They won't work for people with autism. They often don't work for the HSPs. Traditional work systems are made for the average person, but the average person does not exist. The average person is like made, like looking to everyone, and that's the overactive, the very calm, like everyone, and they make one average, and that's a system that should work for everyone. That's the system that won't work for anyone, basically. Some can cope better, but especially the neurodivergent people can't work with that. And that's fine. That's fine as long as your work understands that you need something else and that you can thrive with other systems. And when you have that great job where you can do a little bit more, you're by yourself, where you have that freedom to see what works for you, then you'll do amazing. Um, what works when you are overwhelmed and when that system is just not working for you is breaking those tasks down. Make it smaller, because then you have a lot of tasks, but that's okay. Because one of the things that people with ADHD need, and what's not working very good in their system, is something with their hormones. Oh, always fighting with that word. You need way more little dopamine shots. I'm not meaning like watching shorts, because that are dopamine shots all the time. But you need little dopamine shots, little presents for yourselves. And for yourself. And even if you can just like or tick a box like, oh, I've done this little task, that's already a dopamine shot. It doesn't have to be that huge. So when you can break those tasks down, you have you have a lot of things that you've done well, that you can like tick off, and you see that you've done a lot instead of watching that one huge project as one. If you can switch it to 100 or 10 or whatever, you have it way easier and calmer, because you can just talk with yourself or with friends or your work, like, hey, how much do I need to do today, instead of the whole project. So that's a good one. I'm sorry. Oh, I needed that. So if there are people in chat, let me know your funny ADHD moments, or from friends that you know with weird or funny things. And until I found that, I'll go to the next little block. And that is hyperfocus. Now, hyperfocus is great. When I'm in hyperfocus, I can work for hours and hours and hours. And I don't even notice that I've been working for 10 hours. Not so good for your family. I'm working at home. And not so good for your family, because when they interrupt me, I get really annoyed. I get cranky. And they don't love that. Of course they don't. And even if they ask, like, do you want to have tea? I can like snap, like, no, I'm working. Don't say anything. A hyper-focus moment is when you do the most work. And like I said before, if you're working for a company, you're in hyper-focus and you do like a lot of work, please keep some of that work for later, for the moments when you don't have that hyper-focus anymore. Because when you're out of hyper-focus, it will be very difficult, very, very difficult to just do something, because you just don't know how to start anymore. And then you see that huge task again that you forgot to do because you were doing all the side tasks that you all did in a row, or then the new ideas you had that you just did. So hyperfocus is a great time to do a lot of work, a lot of bulk work if you can, and keep some apart for the moments that when you're not in hyperfocus anymore, because you can't stay in that hyperfocus for a long time. You can stay there maybe if you're lucky for a month, but at some point you do need sleep every day. You do need breaks every day, and they can feel really difficult for you when you're in hyperfocus. So you have to force yourself to have that break. But when hyperfocus is gone, you have to force yourself to do the work again. So playing with that is difficult. So try to make it a little bit fun. Try to play with it, because that will help you. That will help you a lot. And losing track of time. So when you're in hyperfocus, you start your day, and like me, I'm starting to make a video, then I filmed it and I'm going to edit it, and there's always a lot of edit work. And I'm making music and finding music for it, and then at some point 10 hours later, I think I've only worked for an hour. Then I looked at the clock like, oh, what happened? Well, I see that it's dark outside. Like, what happened? Where did my day go? And somehow, this is the ultimate being in the present, being in right now. And you can say it's very mindful. But the downside is, and I think for mindfulness as well, the downside is that all of a sudden there's a whole year gone without you noticing. And that happened to me a few times. It happened in a good way that I figured out that I was a year younger than I thought. And it happened in a bad way as well, that I didn't spoke with a friend for 2 years and didn't notice there were 2 years gone. So um, hyperfocus can be good and it can be bad. So play a little bit with it. Then, oh, I love this. Why did I use this word? Procrastination. I hope I pronounced it right. um, wait until the last moment till you act. And I think everyone has this, but people with ADHD maybe a little bit more. Um, the funny thing is, most people have it with tasks they hate. They don't want to do it, and they just wait, they don't do it. When you have ADHD, you can love that task and still not do it because there are other tasks and you can't see which one is needed to be done right now. So you wait, and or you start. Often you start, and then you do something and then you stop. And then all of a sudden you have one day left and you have to write like 20 or 30 pages of something. And then it's going to be a long night. It's often not that you don't want to do it. It's often the time blindness and the bad planning and just not really knowing that this is a task that you have to do right now. It's often it's one of the many things that I have to do. And yeah, I need a dopamine shot, so I'll do something else first because that's faster or I like that more. So procrastination is a terrible thing that everyone basically has, but people with ADHD have a little bit more problems with them. Now another thing, the pressure to be normal. We have a saying in Dutch, and that's called, well, I said in Dutch first, doe maar gewoon, dan doe je al gek genoeg. Now, not many people in chat, so I hope you understand what I said. Basically, it says like when you act normal, you're already doing weird. So act as normal as you can. Well, what is normal? The neurodivergent people have heard for a long time that it's not normal what they are doing. For them, it's completely normal because that's how they are. And is that bad, how they're acting? Don't think so. I really need this. Sorry. Yeah, that feels better. So what is normal? When is someone normal? When is someone acting normal? When you're in a class or at work and you say something and everyone is looking at you like, oh, there's Linda again, or oh, there's that person again, then it feels like you're not acting normal. You try to fit in, but you can't and you don't have to. It's good to be you. It's way better to be you than being someone else. And if their normal is not your normal, and like you're not harming other people with how you are, then make it their problem again and not yours. But it can be depressing, especially when you're not feeling good about yourself, when your self-esteem is low, and a lot of others are telling you that you're not normal. That can be very depressing. So be strong, make sure you have good help, good medical help, and just you are good already. So don't listen to those others who want you to act normal. No, act like you. That's the best you can do. So please don't feel depressed or bad because others think that you are saying things wrongly or weird or whatever. One of the not so good things I think people with ADHD can have, and I'm pretty good at it, we are honest, very honest, bluntly honest. And then I'm also Dutch, and we are known for our directness. So I can easily say what I think, and even if it's not good, we don't sugarcoat it. And so basically, you can see it as 2 times bad for me because I'm Dutch and with ADHD, I'll just say what I think, and that's not always. Well, I'm not making friends with that. Yeah, I see. I even made someone run off from the live stream because I said this. Oh dear. And I didn't even say anything. I only explained it. Oh gosh. Yeah. Let me see. Pressure to. I'm just reading now where I am. I don't know how I got to this because it's not on my list anyway. Okay. So why I'm jumping from subject to subject is because everyone can just step in this live stream, and I don't want to make the whole list with pros and cons because that gets boring if you are listening to the whole live stream. Also, for people jumping in, it's not nice to hear only the bad things and not about the good things. So that's why I'm jumping around. And of course, I made this, so it is jumping around anyway. Uh, the energy-based productivity, that can be good and bad. It quite depends on how much energy you have at that moment. When you have a lot of energy, what you will probably have for a long time, then you can do a lot of things. And you will do a lot of things. And that is amazing. That's wonderful. When you're working for a company, they're quite happy with you because you are doing so much. But then when your energy is low, it's completely gone. There is almost never an average. There's always a high or a low. And there will be a high energy level for a long time. But when it's low, it's like none. It's non-existing. It's like basically you need to sleep. And you can't at work. Most jobs, you can't. So the energy-based productivity is a pro and a con, I think. So if you're in chat and you want to say something about yourself, please do, because this is a chill and chat with Linda. It's not just Linda chatting. Feel free to join in. If not, I'll just continue my story. Or my story, what I wrote down for you guys to chat about. But first, I need some more tea. And which is great because the next thing on my list is interrupting yourself. So, most people with ADHD are very empathetic. Okay, they are good listeners, but they're even better talkers. And this is because often they can relate to something they hear. And instead of waiting, they will jump in like, hey, I know what you mean, because, and then you say what you want to say, and the other person gets a little bit annoyed because that one wasn't finished with talking. Now, the funny thing is, we can interrupt ourselves as well, because all those drawers in our head are making those little connections. So we start about something and then we see, hey, see that bird? And we start about talking about that bird because yesterday there were birds in the garden too. So we are interrupting ourselves all the time as well. Now, the funny thing is when you are talking with others, they will find out when you're interrupting yourself. They think, oh, this is funny, this is fun. When you're interrupting the other, they don't like it that much because often it feels like you're not giving the attention that that person needed, which is bad because you do want to give that attention. Your brain is just acting differently. And with that honesty and bluntness and direct, you just jump in instead of waiting. And oh gosh, you can give yourself so many problems with this. Um, yeah, it does happen, and it does happen often. Um, with the interrupting yourself, the mental chaos is quite a nice one as well. You're interrupting yourself because you're thinking about this and this and this and this and oh, that. Oh gosh, that as well. So your thoughts are scattered or unclear. And until those boxes are making that connection, you have no clue. So, of course, this is not always. So don't worry. You can have quite a normal chat with someone with ADHD, even if they are not on medicines. You can have quite a normal chat, but there will be more moments that chats are getting weird, and more moments than when you have a chat with the neurotypical people. But even then, it will happen. So just notice. And when you're at a party, just like make notes if you can one day, or with friends, make a game of it. Start writing down when you start talking. Start writing down the subject, and then just the next subject, because that will jump in some time, and then the next and the next, and you'll find out that you've been talking about many subjects with that group. And it started all with the Dutch way of starting a conversation. Hey, the weather is nice. It's not raining today, or hey, it's raining again. So you can do that and make a little bit of a fun party with that, because it's quite funny to find out from what subject you go to another, and then rethink how you get to it or how you got to it, because that's it's weird. It's a fun thing, but people with ADHD can do that without other people around them. So you'll jump from subject to subject all the time. And that can be quite chaotic. And that can make you quite tired as well, by the way. Now, often when you are neurodivergent, what will happen is that others won't see you as someone with full potential. They will see you as someone weird, a little bit different. And again, I think weird and different aren't that bad. But others will think that. Not everyone, of course, but a lot of people do. And then they don't see the power you have, which is a shame, because everyone, every single person has something incredible good. And instead of looking at that, we as humans tend to look at the bad things. We as humans tend to look at what is missing or what others are doing wrong, instead of finding that one or more things that they are incredible good at. For your self-esteem, it is brilliant when you have a teacher or a friend as someone who sees those good things. But often, sadly, we are not meant to do that. We are not made to do that. And it's the same with news. When you watch the news, the most read articles are always about bad things. We want to know about the bad things, sadly. And we forget the good things. So from now on, if you want to, just watch more about the good things about others and see how powerful they can be and what they can do. And it's sad for the neurodivergent ones when when the others just don't see what they're capable of, because they can do so much things. Everyone can just move mountains if they want to or need to. And as long as there are people supporting them and seeing what they can do, they will do great. So if you are watching and think like, hey, others are watching like me, watching to me and see all the bad things. And now here I say it wrong in English as well, not my language. It's their problem if they can't see what you are capable of and what you are good at. It's their problem, not your problem, it's theirs. So be proud of who you are, be proud of what you can. And of course, learn other things if you want to learn things more and be good at those as well. But make sure that they see you. But first, you have to see yourself and be proud of yourself. Because when you're trying to hide because others are thinking you are weird or you are not capable of whatever, when you are acting like that, others won't see the good thing. So first start with being proud of yourself. Please do. Please do. And just every single time when you do manage, be proud of yourself. And every single time that you don't manage, don't feel bad about yourself. You can always start again. So I hope you keep that in mind and do something with it, because that will help you tremendously. I do need to drink again. So after the undervalued strengths, saying the wrong thing. Oh gosh. Yeah, the thing with our brain is that with all those little drawers open, it's so easy to just think about something, say it, and then figure out that they weren't talking about that at all. So you say the wrong thing, you say something that's inappropriate, um, and honesty often backfires. Sadly enough, most people say they want honesty until you give your honest answer. Do I look fat in this dress? Be careful when, when a girlfriend asks that. Some really want to hear if they look fat in that dress. Most don't want to hear it. Does this look nice on me? Did you like the book I wrote? Did you like this? Did you like that? It's often, it's a difficult one. So honesty is good. Try to be not as blunt as I can be. Sugarcoat it a little bit. Oh, now I can hear birds. Oh gosh. So saying the wrong thing. Oh, I'm brilliant at that. Yeah, you can ask my mother-in-law. Oh dear. At some point she said, well, Linda, I know you say those things, but you don't mean them. And I said, oh, I do mean them. And I thought, oh no. Oh, what did I just do? Yeah. Be careful. I got myself really into a few big problems with being too honest and blunt at the same time. And that's quite funny because I didn't do any weird things when I was young. Oh gosh, I had one day, really one day, I was in like the puberty that can last years. I had one really bad day and that was all. That was it. Now the good thing is I still think I like when I'm 100 or something, I will have a few years when I'm really going to be really annoying to everyone, getting my revenge. Um, I don't like to smoke. I just don't like it. I get a headache from smoke, and I lose my voice. So that would be terrible, right? Um, I don't. I don't drink alcohol. I don't like it. I don't like the taste of it. Um, and I'm really scared, like losing control of what I say or do. Or no, I just don't want to do that. And I've never done. I don't do drugs. Same idea. So I've been now someone ran off. Okay, bye. So me telling being boring, it basically makes people run off. That's funny. So I didn't do really bad things, but being so honest didn't help either. So it's weird. It's quite weird. So if you want to say something in chat, feel free to do so because I would love to hear more from you. Have you ever gotten in troubles because of ADHD or being bluntly honest or whatever? Let me know. Until then, words in English, it's sometimes a disaster, sorry. Until then, I'll just continue my chat. One of the good things about ADHD, having so many ideas. Most people with ADHD are great. A lot of good ideas, impulsivity. They want to do everything. Everything is fun. Everything's that little dopamine shot they need. So they're spontaneous and it's fun to be around those people if you can handle it for a long time. Uh, of course, all those ideas can make tired as well, but you don't have to do everything. You can just start with the idea and then talk with your friends or family and see what you can do. You don't have to do all of it, of course. Another good thing, and it's basically the same, like impulsive plans. Like, okay, the weather is good. Let's have a picnic. Let's do something nice. Let's run out and do something good. And that's great if you have the more introvert people around you who don't come with those ideas, but they love to do nice things as well, of course. That's a good combination, as long as you keep it a little bit calm. Not so good thing is the difficulty with prioritizing. So you have this great idea, and yeah, let's go for a picnic. I have to work that day, but or yeah, I do have that deadline that I really need to work on right now. But hey, the weather is nice. Let's go for a picnic. And often that let's go is winning. So you have another sleepless night because you have that deadline. Um, Also, not knowing what is most important right now. And like when there's really a big stress situation, most people with ADHD will get really calm, can do everything they need to do, can help everyone they need to help, and then they like faint or whatever. So when it's really needed, in case of an emergency, they will often do what they have to do. When there's no emergency, there's no emergency. So you can do whatever you want. And everything is as important. So when I was like learning for school, and and like the really for the tests. And I was like, I had those pens, the colored ones, and I was like drawing what was important. I could just make the whole book yellow because everything was as important. And when I was younger, I could memorize pretty good. So at some point, my teacher asked me something, and um, so it was an oral exam, and it was quite funny because he asked me something. I gave an answer. He said, "No, that's wrong." And I said, "Okay, yeah, that's right, because you can find it at that page under that photo." And he looked and said, "Oh, wow." Uh, because everything is important. So I've learned everything. So I knew it by heart. And if it was a whole book, then I knew the whole book by heart. I'm quite glad I don't have to do that anymore, because it did cost me a lot of hours. And then, of course, there were also more tests I had to do. So that was always a struggle and a lot of hours of work. And everything was important. So I've just learned everything. And I don't know how I managed by then. I don't think I can do that now anymore. Yeah. Also at work, and also with making videos. Like, I'm doing this live now, and because I wanted to do this live, and there were no people around today. No one's in the house apart from me. I could have made, of course, started the video that I need to have made in, yeah, that needs to be done in 5 or 6 days. And I have to start. So when you log in at my channel, oh, in 7 days, when you log in at my channel and it's 5/5, and there's no angel video that day because of this live chat. So if you do find an angel video at 5/5, let me know if you've been in this live event, and tell me like, hey, Linda, you did well. You did manage to make that video as well, because that's what I should be doing right now, basically. So yeah, let me know if you do see that happen. Yeah. uh, Last minute decisions. Yeah, that's the same idea basically. Um, Last minute decision. Hey, let's go live because there's no one here today, and I had already therapy. I had a client here, and before next therapy, I can do this. Yeah, cool. So yeah. And now the funny thing, I say therapy, and I'm not sharing that many things about me. But maybe if you've seen the video about my F&D story, um, and who knows, maybe it has something to do with ADHD as well. I don't know. So there's a disconnection between my nerve system and my brain. And with ADHD, I think there are a lot of disconnections as well. So maybe there's an overlap. Um, But what happens for me is that all of a sudden, sometimes my body forgets how to walk, and what's happening more often is that I have pain quite well, mostly all the time. And so sometimes I have therapy to learn about what I can do, because of course you have to move and you have to walk and do things. And also I'm going to learn how to use my energy, and then not my energy for the mental part, but especially for the physical part, because I go, well, from 130% to -10. And with F&D, you have to have the energy at the same level. Well, that's, with me, it's difficult. So I'm learning that. So therapy sounds a bit heavy, but that's what I'm basically going to learn. And the other one today, so it's coincidence I have them both at the same time, is for the walking problems, to to get some exercises that I can do, and so my muscles won't just stop working. And I had that, so I have to find out how we get those muscles built up again a little bit. I can use that bike, as you can see, but that's too heavy. I had it for this. So that's why I have therapy. And we'll find out if that's going to work. I hope so. Would be nice to, with this lovely weather, to have something like a walk without having pain within 5 seconds. So we'll find out. If you haven't seen it and you want to see it, my F&D video is somewhere at my channel. Then you can see a little bit more about my story and what it does for me and what it can do for other people. F&D is not a really fun thing to have, but then, well, I don't see people who are just only healthy. So most people have something or more things, and that's just story of life, I think. Not saying that I love love having F&D, by the way, because I quite hate it. I would love to be able to walk outside again, but who knows? Maybe it comes back, and otherwise we'll find something else to do. Let me check where I was. See, interrupting myself is not good because now I've lost where I was. So let me see. Yeah, one of the good things we can do is like external structure. Using alarm clocks. It can help you to be in time because that time blindness works two ways. Some, like me, are always an hour too early at an event, and others are always too late. Now, both my daughters and me are always too early. That's when we have to go somewhere. When I have to make dinner, however, and I'm in my hyperfocus, all of a sudden my husband comes home and like, what? Is it that late already? Or I think, oh, he's early. And then I watch the time and think, oh my, it's just normal time. I just completely, I was completely unaware of what time it was. And this is happening like 5 times a week. So from now on, I've now put an alarm. I've now have an alarm clock, and I will know when I have to stop doing work and just start making dinner. Because when some people have to get up really early and have to go to work, well, I can just start whenever I want when I don't have clients, of course. But for me, it's not the same. So otherwise, we'll just eat at 9 in the evening because I forgot to make dinner. So external structure can be good. And just find things that work for you. And if you have any tips or tricks, let me know, because you can help others and maybe me as well. That would be great. So let me know in chat if you want to share your tips and tricks. Don't be shy. You are allowed to say something in chat. It's not just chill, and no, it's not just chat or listen to Linda. It's also chill and chat. So feel free to say things as well. Oh, my voice is going again. Maybe I shouldn't have made coffee because it's making my throat drier, I think. Oh well. Going to get that more drink. And sorry for that. I can understand that it's annoying, but I really need to drink something when I'm talking so much. So another good thing, and it's almost the same as thinking out of the box. People with ADHD, And basically, most neurodivergent people have a huge imagination. So, YouTubers, most will probably hear, most will have ADHD. Artists, musicians, the people who make really nice drawings or paintings or stories. A big imagination is really something nice. Have vivid ideas, a lot of possibilities. You do, when you have that great idea, you do have to work on it. You do have to make the item, the painting, the story, the music, or whatever. So that can be tricky, but the imagination is amazing. So I think that's one of the best things. It's also one of the funny things. When I was looking at vidIQ, they say like, okay, when we give you ideas to make videos, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want ideas. I have plenty of ideas. I've never ever not enough ideas. I have too many ideas. I don't have enough time. But then, of course, when you sign up for them, they're not going to give you more time to make those videos. They give you the ideas if you need them. And like the little drawers in our head, we have brain tabs. A lot of brain tabs are open. And even when you're working at the computer, you will probably have a lot of tabs open, but you also have them in your brain. A lot of thoughts. And when you have a bad day, all those thoughts are there at once. And they're all yelling as loud, and they all want their attention. They all want your attention. So in a way, it's great to have so many ideas. When they all want to be heard right now at the same time, then it's not so good. And what I said, we're going to talk about the good and the bad thing about it, the bad things about ADHD. The ideas are great when they all want you to listen right now. It's less great. And when they want you to listen right now when it's in the middle of the night, it's even worse. Because your brain just doesn't really want to listen to day and night differences. It just wants attention now. Not in a few hours, right now. So what works for me, well, what doesn't work for me is I found when I'm tired, whatever time it is, when I'm tired, I have to go to sleep. If I don't, and I wait like 15 minutes, okay, tiredness is over, I'm done, I'm awake. And well, and then I force myself at some stage to go to bed and go to sleep. But often I'm just in my bed, awake, and really awake. And this is my moment for, well, nice ideas. So I'm not getting up, I'm just staying in bed. So at least my body can rest, but my brain is busy. it's like having a party. When I go to bed, when I am that tired, I'll sleep for 1.5, 2 hours, like that whole round you make. And then I'm awake, completely awake. And well, then I'll be awake for a few hours and then finally I'll fall asleep again. But it's difficult to make yourself tired again because you're awake. It's like going on bright daylight, going to sleep when you have energy. And then the next morning you would think like, okay, I should be tired. Nope, had a good night. Didn't sleep, but I had a great night and a few ideas. So it's funny, it's weird, it's annoying though. Because you do get tired, you just don't feel it, but you do get tired. So at some point you will collapse, you will get too tired. And for some people, that means that they get like the flu, they get a fever, they're going to be ill for a few days. And some people get it worse for a longer time and get their burnout, because you can't be at 130% all the time. No one can. It feels like you can, but you can't. So you need to have that rest. You need to take moments for sleep. You need to take breaks. And it's difficult when you have that much energy because it doesn't feel like you need them, but you do. So, and that's with the alarm clocks as well. You can make more alarm clocks and just like have a break. That sounds like an advertisement. Uh, take a break, go lunchtime, just sit down, don't do anything apart from eating, and have your like walk time or something. Make sure you have those breaks because you do need them. You just don't feel that you need them. But everyone needs them, even you. A an inconsequent motivation. So yeah, your energy can change. And sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. Often you don't. And so what will happen? You're in that hyperfocus, it's all nice. And then after a lot of days in that hyperfocus, well, for example, when I make a video and this is a really good one, a really good one, and I'm really happy about it, and then 30 people watched. And after one video, it's like, bad luck. But when that happened for a while, and I see it at my channel right now, because YouTube doesn't really understand what my channel is about. So it forgets to push my videos completely. So what's happening? I've been working for it and working a lot of time, did a lot of time, and then nothing happens. And my hours are like going down instead of moving forward, they're going down. And that is very demotivating. And that, of course, is not helping me to make new videos or do them right, or a little fly in front of me. It makes it difficult to get that motivation to still work as hard, because working hard does not mean that you will be successful. And that's very painful. And when I hear people who are doing half of what I do and they're doing amazing because they understand that part that I don't see, or they have the luck that I kind of lost somehow, it gets so depressing and so demotivating. And then you still have to do that work and you still have to try it. And that makes it difficult. So there will be a shift between, well, your energy will be this, but your motivation will be that as well. And then when you don't see the results of all the work, then it's really, really sad. You're not going to be happy about that. So an inconsistent motivation is quite a difficult one. And I'm not sure if that's only for ADHD. I think more people will have that. So now I have an iced coffee and an iced tea because I completely forgot my tea. It's another thing. You make your tea and you're busy doing other things, and then you drink a cold tea because you forgot. This is also not only ADHD. Everyone who's working in an office, at the office, will have the same problem. I've seen all my colleagues doing this as well. Let me see. Work expectations versus reality, being misunderstood at work, but also the working hard. It doesn't mean that you are going to be successful. So that's a difficult thing to see. That's a difficult thing to understand, and it's pretty sad for all those people who work so hard and don't see the results of it. It's really, really sad. Now, here's a good one. So, when you have ADHD, but also when you are like a Libra, choosing one thing. We are terrible at making decisions. It's just impossible. And well, you see my books. I mean, when I finish reading a book, I could spend like an hour just to think what book I'm going to pick next. Now I just pick a book, and if it's nothing, it's gone. It will be out of my bookcase. Um, I'm not going to think about what book to take next. Just grab one. When I'm in the supermarket or in a store, when I have to choose, it's more difficult. And that will result at some point in buying more of the items that you really need and having too many things. And then you, at some point, you have to get rid of all those things again. Yeah, having not one hobby, not two, 10, just starting them and then finding out it's not as fun as you thought. It's difficult to make decisions. I think it's difficult for everyone. It's not just ADHD, but it can be pretty difficult. And then you'll end up with a lot of hobbies, with a lot of extra things. And then you're going to make a lot of friends happy with all the items that you don't need anymore. So it's a good thing when you have enough money to buy all those new hobby items. You can also make your friends and family happy and give them a new hobby. And of course, it's not good. um, so chat is still quite quiet, so I can ask a question, but well, if you want to say something in chat, please do so. And if not, then don't. You don't have to. But for now, almost talking for well, an hour and a half already. We are at the last block, the fifth. I did this, the 8th block with the last things about ADHD or ADD. So if you do want to ask something, do it now because it's not going to take long anymore. And problem solving. A good thing about ADHD is the problem solving. When you're creative, you'll find answers. And even under pressure, or maybe especially under pressure, you will get to some good ideas. So if you have a problem and you don't have ADHD and you just can't get a good answer or a good solution, ask one of your friends with ADHD what they would do, because they will come with a nice solution for you. Not always the best solution maybe, but you can always, you can try. Just ask and see what they find for you. It will be a creative solution and well, maybe it works. Now, the not so good thing is the last minute ideas, last minute genius. Your best work will probably be 10 minutes before the deadline. Of course, that great idea needs about half an hour. So try to figure out which part of what you just thought is the best and the easiest to do, because there's always last minute work. It will always be there, and it's not fun, it's not nice, but that's something you have to learn to live with because it will stay with you. And the good thing about this is that when you do have that deadline and you're like a little bit stuck, just know that at some point, just a little bit late, you will have an answer. you will have something great. Yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice when it's last minute, but it will come. Now, the not so good thing is, of course, not finishing tasks. And often you will have a lot of projects if that's like something fun, like a hobby. When you crochet, you will probably have at least 10 little things you were making and finished none. But also at work, maybe even in the kitchen, that you just start at the thing that needs a little time and you finish with the thing that needs the most time. And then it's like, yeah, did the planning wrong? That will happen often. So if you know that from yourself, just stand still for a moment, read what you have to do, and then decide what's best to do, what is best to do, because you can train that a little bit. It's not that bad all the time. You can train that a little bit. And if you so for me, I said like, okay, I can read 5 books at the same time, and that's it. If I want to have a sixth, I have to finish 1 book. And that works for me. And now I'm trying to read the whole thing that you see behind me. It works. So now I know when I finish the book and it's one that I'm not going to keep, I'm going to give it to a little library. And that makes room for another book that's in one of the other bookcases that you can't see in this video. I have more. So when I say, okay, you can read 5 and not more, that's a good way of giving myself permission. Like, okay, you can read more at the same time, but you do have to finish sometimes a book as well, because otherwise you can't get more. So, welcome. Someone just joined, and well, we're almost at the end of this whole thing. But welcome. If you want to say something in chat, feel free to do so, or run off like you did. That's sad. Oh well. Let me see. Now, yeah, I was going to ask something, but with only one person left, I'm not going to. So I think this is it for today. I hope you did enjoy yourself. I hope you've learned a few things, or at least had fun listening. Sorry for the messy event, and this is just what you get when you watch my live streams, I think. And let me know if you do have a question. You can do that in chat, or you can do it later in the comments. And for now, thank you for watching and thank you for chilling with me. I hope you had a good time. I'll see you soon again. Oh, and don't forget, May 5th, do I have that angel video? I don't know yet. Thanks for now, and I'll see you soon again. Bye bye.